Hello everyone, my name is Lowko, and it is time for a very important video for StarCraft 2 because this is a system that Blizzard had, mentioned very long ago. But finally, yesterday, they uploaded a video talking about the specifics, and also, well, they're mentioning that the system is going to be released soon. And that's going to be a complete overhaul of the ladder system in StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void. And all in all, today I want to be talking about the new system, but also the flaws and the strength of the current one, as well as improvements for the system that they've announced to hopefully make it even better. Alrighty, so first and foremost, let's talk about the strengths of the current system that has been in play since the beginning of Wings of Liberty. And there's honestly only really one strength that I really want to highlight, and that really doesn't even have to do too much with the ladder system, and that is how good it is at actually finding challenging opponents. So when you hit that find match button, even at the higher levels, you will be finding an opponent that is similar in skill, at least after playing several matches. And that is the one thing that has really kept me going with StarCraft 2, just because I can find a good opponent within a couple of seconds. I'm not saying that everything else of the current system is bad, but it's definitely a little outdated. So I'm assuming here all of you are gonna be familiar with the current system, and with that I want to be talking about the flaws. So the very first thing, and also the most important thing, is that it does not currently accurately represent your skill level. For example, I do a lot of StarCraft 2 coaching, and with that I talk to a ton of people in Gold League. Now I'm not gonna lie, there is a huge skill cap between high level gold players and low level gold players. Players in high gold are significantly better than low gold players, however, there's one issue here in play. Let's say that you get promoted in the middle of a season from Silver League to Gold League. More often than not, you will be promoted into a newer Gold League division, giving you the indication that you're gonna be somewhere around top 25 gold, when realistically speaking, if you would have been in Gold League at the beginning of the season, you would have been in a much more challenging division, and therefore probably would have ended up somewhere along the lower ranks. Now this is huge because it gives people an indication of their skill level that is a little bit flawed. Because when the new season arrives, you do your ladder placement match and you find out you get in a more competitive division, and therefore you are gonna be hanging around in the lower regions instead. So that is one of the reasons why the current system does not accurately represent your skill level. Secondly, currently you cannot be demoted at all. This means that even if you lose 20 matches and you're in Platinum League, you're still gonna be in Platinum League. Which makes sense on a mental level, I guess, because people wouldn't get upset about losing that much if they're not gonna be, demoted at all. But in all honesty, it's also not giving you any indication about how good you are. A third major flaw of the current system is that it does not give you any indication of when you're gonna be promoted next. So you know that feeling when you are hanging around in the higher tiers of your division and you have absolutely no idea when you're gonna get promoted? I've had this many times myself as well when trying to get up to Grandmaster League. I'm hovering around in a very competitive division in Master League around the 3rd or 2nd or 1st spot, but I actually do not know at all whatsoever when I'm gonna be promoted to Grandmaster League, and obviously this is true for all skill levels. So the current system does not give you an indication of when you're gonna be promoted. Now the reason for all of these flaws is that they are using an MMR system. However, the MMR is currently hidden. Now MMR stands for matchmaking rating, and this is basically just a skill indication that is added to every single account but is not visible at this point in time. And the MMR is really making the decision who you're gonna be facing, when you're gonna be promoted, and what your current skill level is. However, as it is currently not visible, it makes it very difficult to judge certain aspects, such as promotion, such as current skill level, when you are playing StarCraft 2. Now years ago, Blizzard answered the question why the MMR system was hidden, and the reason for that was simple: they didn't want to overcomplicate the system. And while I do agree with that on a certain level, I think the upcoming changes are very important. Another major flaw with the current system is the Grandmaster ladder. If you want to see who the current best players are in a region, you're gonna be heading to the Grandmaster League. However, this does not actually actively represent who the best players are. It gives you an indication of it, but it doesn't accurately represent who the very best players currently are. And that is because a lot of the times, Grandmaster League is simply full, and there will be this one guy, this one professional gamer that's gonna be sitting at rank 1 Masters with a gazillion points, but he just does not get promoted at all because he doesn't lose enough. And well, because the current Grandmaster League ladder is full. And while the MMR will still allow him to be facing high-level opponents in Grandmaster League, he's not gonna be promoted himself. So once again, I'm not saying that everything in the current system is bad, but there is definitely room for improvement, and it looks like after a couple of years of discussions, it seems that that time has finally come. Alrighty, so yesterday David Kim released a video on the official YouTube channel of StarCraft. I will leave a link to that video down below in the description of this video as well. But he basically explained the upcoming system that they have planned for the StarCraft 2 ladder. So the main goal of the new system is to increase transparency and to better display a player's skill. This is very important for the reasons that we have just discussed, but it means primarily that you don't have to be guessing when you're gonna be promoted anymore, and it's also gonna be ranking you much more accurately. Now the main way they're gonna be achieving this is by simply just displaying your MMR. It will show you your MMR and it will show you where you are currently at. It will indicate how many points you've lost from losing that previous match and how many you've gained, according to your opponent's MMR as well. On top of that, after every game that you play, in the overview screen, you will be seeing exactly how far you are from getting promoted and how far you are from getting demoted. It will do so by showing your opponent's MMR as well as your own, and it will indicate how many points you've lost and how many you've earned. So basically, every player will simply be seeing a number that accurately exactly represents their current skill level. Now besides the MMR, there's still gonna be a league as well as a tier system in play, and those tiers are gonna be new. So every league in StarCraft 2 will now also be split up in several tiers. So for example, you will be able to be in Diamond 1, 2 or 3. This means that instead of vaguely talking about a player's skill level, you can now just say, hey, I'm currently in Gold 2. Which will much more accurately display your current skill level compared to the one that you were currently having, where, you know, you just get to say you're currently in Gold League. It will now also start giving you an accurate representation of your skill level on the actual border of your portrait of your account. Now the cool thing about this is that this portrait will only be showing you the border of the highest league or tier that you have achieved in this current season. And that's really important because for the rest of the season, your friends will be able to see your highest achieved score. Last but not least, Grandmaster League, instead of opening up after a couple of weeks after the beginning of a season, it will now be updated on a daily basis. So that means that basically at the end of every day, or usually that is around Blizzard time, around 3 or so in the morning, they will be remaking the Grandmaster League ladder, showing you the top 200 players of that region. Alrighty, so all in all, these changes are absolutely huge. They're definitely so much better than the current system is in play, and I'm super excited for this. I think this will help out a lot of people by just simply making the ladder system a lot more enjoyable. I mean, only just being able to see exactly when you're gonna be promoted is huge. Like, that is already such a nice improvement. And personally, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I love the fact that you will now be able to accurately see your current MMR. So I will be able to, you know, compare my own to, for example, like Snoots. And, you know, he's a much better player than I am. But at the very least, I will be able to judge how far that gap is. Anyhow, with that, I also wanted to be talking about a couple of improvements. Obviously, let me know what you think of these improvements down below in the comment section of the video. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about demotions. So demotions are currently not possible in StarCraft 2. You can't go from Gold to Silver League until you have to do your placement match in the next season. Now, I'm not 100% certain on whether or not you're actually gonna be, you know, able to be demoted in this new system, but I would argue that at the very least, you should be able to drop down in tiers. Maybe not in leagues, but at the very least in tiers. Secondly, I think divisions are either kind of pointless or should be changed up significantly. So you know those divisions that basically show your rank among 100 other random people that also randomly managed to get in that same division? Honestly, they're currently rather pointless and represent very, very little, other than a little bit of a ladder climb. Since we're gonna be displaying MMR anyway, I would argue that it probably would be much better to have the division ranked by MMR rather than ladder points. And with that, we can also immediately start talking about the bonus pool, because a change to the bonus pool system would be rather important if divisions do stick around. The issue is that if you are currently in a division and you're somewhere in around the middle ranks and you have 400 bonus pool, it's gonna not accurately represent where you are in that division whatsoever. So I'm proposing either a cap to the current bonus pool, for example, say there's a maximum of 200, or maybe add a daily quest to StarCraft 2 where you have to unlock a little bit of bonus pool by simply just playing every single day, allowing you bonus points every single day you play. Obviously not all games, but the very first win of the day should award you maybe some additional ladder points. So that's option number 1. By simply just changing up the bonus pool, make the division system a little bit more accurate. Second option is to just scrap the entire current system, rank everyone by MMR, and just show everyone that is currently in the same tier as you are. That would be awesome, because I would be able to see, hey, there's currently 5,000 people in Master League 2. That means that I am currently around rank 500, and I know I'm actually doing reasonably well. Last but not least, a change to the division that would be really cool as well is to, for example, display only the players that you currently are in a group or in a clan with, so you can accurately judge how good you are compared to your friends. You know the current system in Heroes of the Storm where basically the top 200 players are currently constantly switching around? I think that would make a lot of sense. Just simply make Master League and Grandmaster League one division, make it so that people can easily climb it. However, obviously allow the top 200 players to be represented with a Grandmaster border. That way it won't be changing every single day, but every single time someone achieves enough MMR to actually get in there. Or I guess if we're keeping division points, well, I guess then division points as well. One of the things that I also think would be an improvement is to make the seasons a little bit shorter. The recent seasons have all roughly lasted 3 months, which in my opinion is honestly a little bit too long. Not only does the map pool get a little bit stale if you play a lot of games, but also the division system once again is not very accurate anymore. I mean, there's gonna be a ton of people with a ton of stacked up bonus pool, and all in all, it's just not nearly as enjoyable. It just gets a little bit tiresome. So shorter seasons would probably be welcomed. With that, we obviously also do need season rewards. Every other Blizzard game is running it, so I don't really see an exact reason why StarCraft 2 wouldn't. Basically, just reward players at the end of the season with either a currency or portraits or anything really that they can be using to show off their profile. And last but not least, one little complaint that I'm also currently having about new players, well, not so much new players themselves, but about the matches that they are playing. On the live stream, I consistently get people that are starting up StarCraft 2, do their placement matches and get faced up against platinum level opponents. Now, it's throwing them off a ton, as they are completely new to the game and they just got demolished by a guy that could do 200 or 300 actions per minute. While they were trying to build up 2 barracks, the opponent already had 18 gateways. Obviously, that's a little bit exaggerated, but obviously it doesn't make a lot of sense that new players are able to, you know, go up against higher tiered opponents than the ones that they are currently at. So maybe allow fresh accounts to only be playing against, you know, the lowest tier in Bronze League. I think that would be a much welcomed improvement. Other than these minor improvements that I just mentioned that I think would make the ladder even more enjoyable, I think this looks extremely promising and will more than likely bring a ton of players back to laddering in StarCraft 2. I want to do a massive shout out to David Kim as well for the transparency towards the community. I've been praising Jeff Kaplan in Overwatch over the last couple of weeks and I've been astounded by the transparency in Overwatch, where they basically give you near daily updates and near daily responses to the community feedback. And with Legacy of the Void and with 2016, the StarCraft 2 team has been so much more transparent, which is awesome. Also, personally, I love reading blog posts because it gives me a lot more detail and I, you know, just enjoy reading a lot myself. But I think doing video blogs like the one from yesterday where, you know, basically David Kim just sat down and talked about the changes is absolutely awesome because it's one of those things that is easily shared between people, but also, you know, will help the people that don't enjoy reading as much as I do. Now last but not least, when is this system actually coming? Because in the video, David Kim, obviously in good old Blizzard fashion, mentioned it's gonna be coming very soon. Now very soon doesn't really give us much of an indication, but I can guess here. The current season in StarCraft 2, the one that we are playing right now, is only lasting roughly 3 or 4 weeks, I believe. So that would be significantly shorter than the normal seasons have been. So probably next month, hopefully, I think, maybe? I guess we'll see. Anyhow, if you enjoyed watching this video, do definitely make sure you hit that like button. I hope I explained everything that you wanted to know about the system, and if I did, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well so you get a notification when I upload more StarCraft 2 content. And with that, I want to thank you all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I'll see you in the next one.